So there's recently been a bit of talk around, is Caleb Plant still regarded as a top super middleweight? And I was reading the article and I sort of got an opinion on it because there's sort of two tiers of the super middleweight division at world level at the moment, where you've got the old-ish guard that have had their opportunities, not taking them and are still sort of hanging about. And then you've got the young up-and-comers who are undefeated or streaking or young and want that opportunity to make it to that world level and fight for the world championships, but aren't quite there yet. In the old guard, you've got your Belangas, your Munguias, Jamal Charlo, even where he's just been inactive for a very long time. And out of those three names, you look at them and I think Caleb Plant would have a very easy night against Belanga, a very easy night against Munguia. I think at this point in their careers, Charlo could get the better of Caleb Plant. Because I think ultimately Charlo's just got way less miles on the clock at this point, and Caleb Plant may have gone through one or two too many wars at this point. Because he went to war with Canelo, went to war with Benavidez. Resendez didn't batter him. I'm not going to say Resendez battered him, but comfortably beat him. Comfortably decisioned him. And even in fights with Anthony Dirrell was dangerous, big puncher. Very high IQ boxer as well. Caleb Plant got him out of there, but Dirrell had success in his own right too. And Caleb Plant definitely is a very talented boxer and definitely should be at world level, and it's been one of my favourite boxers to watch for a very long time. Let's have it right. But I think Belanga and Munguia would be too easy for Caleb Plant. And I think he'd quite comfortably beat them, just because he's capable of managing the distance against those types of fighters, switching up to the head, to the body, keeping them on their toes, throwing combinations. He'll do a good job of getting comfortable in those sorts of fights. Whereas against the Charlo, I believe, is trickier. Charlo works that jab a bit more, works the double jabs as well. I mean, he does a lot of the stuff that Caleb Plant does, but he'll be quicker. He'll have more power in his punches. There aren't many more crisp punchers in the super middleweight division than Caleb Plant, if that makes sense. There aren't many. So Charlo won't be the more crisp puncher than Caleb Plant, but like I said, he'll be bigger. He'll have less miles on the clock. He'll likely be faster. Definitely in terms of one-punch power, is more powerful as well. So I think Charlo would be able to beat Caleb Plant at this point in his career. But then you go down to that sort of younger generation and you see your Mbillis, even your Hamza Shirazes. And I see those guys and I'm like, I don't fancy Caleb Plant to beat those guys at all. Right? Mbili, I could see Plant having some success against, but again, I think he'd be too physical, too heavy-handed for Plant. And then Shiraz likely would stop him. Shiraz, I think, would likely stop Caleb Plant. And just because Shiraz, he's so long and he's capable of putting his punches together as well, he would start landing clean, and then before you know it, he's landing 2, 3, 4 punch combos to Caleb Plant clean. And Caleb Plant sort of rocked and wobbled, and he can't defend the way he wants. And Shiraz sort of closes in. I could quite easily see that. So it can depend, If Caleb Plant fights a Belanga next and beats him quite comfortably, as I think he would, then you're like, yeah, well, Caleb Plant is still one of the top middleweights in the world, but just because you beat Belanga doesn't necessarily mean that, right? In Shiraz's case, I suppose the nature of the win does matter as well. How did you beat him? Like, Shiraz ran through Belanga, so you're like, okay, yeah, this guy's serious. But if Plant was just to go like a 10-round or 12-round decision, it would be a 12-rounder. If he's to go a 12-round decision against Belanga, you're like, okay, he beat Belanga, so what, right? He beats Belanga and Munguia, then you're like, okay, this is okay. Maybe he can get a chance against one of the top names now. And then he would fight a Charlo or he'd fight for the world championship and he'd lose. So, will Caleb Plant ever become world champion again? Probably not, unless they get a situation where it's for a vacant or whatever. But in terms of Caleb Plant beating and becoming number one in the division, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen now. But it pains me to say because, like I said, Caleb Plant really is one of my favourite boxers to watch and to see fight because I love that style of boxing that he's got. But I think his better days are probably behind him at this point. But yeah, I'd be super curious to know what you guys think of Caleb Plant. Do you think he's still a top name in the super middleweight division, or do you think he's pretty cooked? Let me know in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.